Dr. Dredd. I'm here to show you how to make my famous jerk chicken. I learned it in Jamaica. I spent a lot of time down there producing reggae music. For many years I've made my jerk chicken and I never told anyone how I did it. It's time to share my jerk chicken recipe with you. What you do is first you start with whole chickens. Take a knife or kitchen shears and cut your chickens in half. Cut through it. Cuts nice and easy. And then you come back through the bottom bone here. Cut it again, all right down the middle. There you go. You got 2 halves of chicken. And then it's time to soak them in vinegar. And then we're going to jerk them and put them on the grill. And now we're going to soak them in the sink with some cold water and some vinegar. I typically just use distilled white vinegar, something inexpensive. And there's 2 reasons I do this. Little vinegar, little water, about a 25% ratio of vinegar to water. And then you just take the chickens, they're already halved, lay them in the sink, and let them soak for about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. And I do this to kill the bacteria that may exist in the chicken. It also gets the chicken nice and moist and keeps it nice and moist when you're going to grill it. And also it gives it a nice little flavor. So soak your chicken 20 to 30 minutes in cold water and distilled white vinegar. Okay, now is the most important part. This is what makes Dr. Dredd's chicken so good. Most people use a wet rub or a dry. Dr. Dredd uses both. And that's the real secret to the great jerk chicken you're going to get when you do Dr. Dredd's. So let's start with the wet sauce first. What you're going to do is you always want the chicken with the leg facing away from you, the leg section, and you carefully take your hands and go under the skin and separate it from the meat. And be real careful. It might rip, but that's okay. And just get your hands under there and move the skin away from the meat. Now what you do is you take a spoon and you're careful to put it in your hand and not touch it because you don't want chicken on the spoon and going back into your jar. So you put 1 teaspoon on the dark meat side where the thigh is. Rub it in real good. Get another teaspoon. Put it underneath the breast side. Rub it in real good. Move it all around. And then what I do for good luck is I just put a little of that sauce under the wing. Now, time for the dry rub. You take the dry rub, and this one you can just shake out. And you put it on the bone side. And they call it rub because you rub it in. So you take your half here, you rub in the dry rub. We now have chicken halves with the sauce under the skin, the dry rub on the bone, and then you take the 2 halves, you put them together, bone to bone side. Your chicken is jerked. You're going to try and keep it overnight. So put it in a good container, cover it, and we're going to meet you at the grill and show you how to cook it next. Okay, so now it's the next day or an hour later, even 20 minutes later. You got your jerk chicken, and it's time to light the grill. Jerk chicken takes time to cook. So what I like to do before I put anything on the grill, especially jerk chicken, is I spray some oil on there so the chicken doesn't stick. Throw on the chicken. The chicken goes on the bone side down. Put it on. Let it sit. Close your grill. Just let the chicken slowly cook. Takes about 30 to 45 minutes on the bone side. After we're done with the bone side, I'm going to show you how we get the skin nice and crispy and get it ready for eating. See you in a few. Okay, so it's been about half an hour, 40 minutes. You come back out. And you know, actually, because the lid has been closed, it acts as an oven, the grill. So if you feel the chicken, you can tell that it's actually cooked through. So the chicken is actually cooked at this point in time. So what we're going to do now is get the skin crispy. And this is a very important part. You don't want to leave the grill while this is going on. So what I do is I start by cutting into the wing and breaking it back. Then I turn up the heat because we're getting this crispy. Now, when you cook chicken and you turn it over on the skin side, the fat from the chicken skin drips onto your flame and it might flame up. So you have to watch it so you don't burn it. So you turn it over. You turn it over on the skin. You got it turned up right below the very highest flame. You shut it, but you don't leave the grill. Keep an eye on your chicken. This is the time to watch your chicken. Okay, and you keep checking it, and it's starting to get a golden brown under there. That flame is roaring. If you need to, turn it down a little. You don't want to burn your chicken skin. Look at that, nice and golden. We'll close the lid for a second here, let it get all nice and crispy. Okay, like I say, keep an eye on it. Look at the flame. Gotta watch it. All right, so what I do at this point, I break off the wings. It's always good to work with tongs. And I put the wings to one side, and I start cooking the wings on their own. And then we're going to be ready for the final steps before you get to eat it. Okay, I think we're almost ready for what I call the final touch. Now this is really important. This is a little difficult. What you're going to do with the leg facing you, you're going to take your cleaver or a big knife, cut beneath the leg section, break it apart, and you can even see how it's still a little raw under there. So you lay it back out on the grill and you let it cook. Turn it down to medium heat again. I would say you give it another good 10 minutes. Okay, I think the chicken is ready. Let's check it out. Wow. Now that looks good. This is Dr. Dread's famous jerk chicken. It is ready to go. If you look inside, you can see it's done. No red area. We take it off, put it on the cutting block, ready to chop it. It's always nice to have a cleaver or a knife, but I like my cleaver. Okay, we're ready to hack it and eat it. For me, this is the best part. You got your halves, you hack it right through the bone. Dr. Dread loves cooking jerk chicken on the bone. If you ever been to Jamaica, this is how they do it. Just chop it up. Remember, it's not about the heat, it's about the flavor. Savor the flavor. Wow. That's the bomb. Good job, guys.